Hey, Doug, man, you know the Starbucks unicorn frappuccino? They say it tastes like sour birthday cake mixed with a creamsicle covered in pixie sticks and a healthy sprinkling of despair.
Oh, our show is so much better than despair and so much cheaper, too. All you have to do is go to patreon.com/nice guys. No ugly residue on your hands and no unicorns will visit or were harmed in the making of this show.
Well, depending on how you listen to the show, you might have some residue on your hands, but that's up to you, not us.
Patreon.com/nice guys. Hey, Strick, have you ever thought about starting a podcast?
Oh, man, what a great idea. You know, over 1 billion people listen to podcasts.
There is a lot of money out there.
You know, and when you do a podcast, people see you as the expert in your field.
You can cast a wider net. I love fishing. You actually cast a wider net. Yeah, actually grow a community of fans that will promote you.
Well, you know what's cool? People listen in their car, in their house, while they're cooking. You know, they just do it when they're doing other things. So, like, you can get all over the country, everywhere. I mean, it's kind of an amazing idea.
This sounds like a commercial for Turnkey Podcast. Is that what this is?
It kind of does. So Funkin' fans, if you guys have ever thought about starting your own podcast, but you're like, I have no idea what the hell to do. We know what the hell to do, and we can help with that.
Yeah, we can do it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a unique season of podcasts just for you. We handle all the production, all the technical stuff, the hosting, you know, the voiceover guy like Steve-O, and we might even get Steve-O to do it for you too. And we deliver the final product to you.
No, it's amazing. And you really need this to become viewed as the expert in your field, whatever field that may be. And we can even help you with exactly what questions to ask, what questions to answer, and all the great things to make you the expert in your field.
We're going to support you right from podcast launch day. Even before that, when we're putting all the stuff together, we're going to help you with the launch. We're going to help you sell more of whatever it is that you sell. So if you're a product or a service, or if you're a big box, or if you're regional or national or international, fame and fortune can be yours.
Except in Dubai. We don't speak Dubanese.
Oh, that's true. We don't.
We can't help with that.
Here's all you need to do. All you need to do is show up. Oh, well, you got to pay us too, because that's a part of the process too.
Details.
Yeah, those are the details. If you click on the show notes, we're going to include a link, and it's going to be, what is it? What's on the link? It's like 12 reasons why podcasting is primed for you to sell more of what you do.
It's a really cute infographic, and it shows you why you should be podcasting. Click on that. You get that for free, and then we can talk more.
All right. Turnkeypodcast.com. You're the expert. Let us help you prove it.
That's a great tagline.
That is a great tagline.
Coming up on the Frickin' Frack Show, better known as the Nice Guys on Business.
The woman that is sitting to my left, her name was her and her husband were there too, and that was great. So maybe we should beep out the word I don't know. If we've said Alzheimer's Association benefit and we've said her name, does that pretty much tell you that we were at table also? Is that really fine to it?
Whatever you want to do, dude. I'm staying out of this one.
Go ahead. Why don't you beep out the name? I don't want to get her in trouble.
Are you going to say it 4 or 5 more times, so I have to beep it out every time?
Yeah. Let me just add in. Okay.
Doug just said his age again, and yes, it will be beeped out.
The Nice Guys on Business Podcast. The sportos, the motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebs, dickheads. They think they're righteous dudes. Need an education on how to grow your business? The Nice Guys are here to help. Learn about great customer service, networking, and how just being nice can help you prosper. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
Hey, Nice Guy community. Welcome back. My name is Strickland Bonner. On the other side of the microphone, Mr. Doug Sandler.
We've had such a good time. You know, normally I don't even know where the stride goes. You know, like how do we start the show? How do we do all that stuff? And every once in a while, you know, we record this. Usually we record batch record, so we do a bunch of stuff. I'm giving a little exposition so people kind of know what happens. Is that okay? Can I do that?
It's been a while since we did that, but okay.
I just want to share so people we have a Strick. Come on, you've got to admit it. We're going to have 80,000 downloads.
Yeah, okay, we
month.
can do a little bit. Okay, just let's get to it.
That means we have a whole bunch of people that have no idea what we do.
Yeah.
So we batch record this thing. So we record all of our introductions and all of our episodes pretty much in the same day.
For the next week.
We don't do
it like a month ahead of time.
No, that would require so much preparation, and that would also lose a lot of the topical nature. You know, like we still running that fucking Starbucks ad.
Sometimes it's funny. It's a great Patreon ad.
It is very funny. So we record all of these at one time, and we don't know depending on, the mojo that we're in, we don't know if we're going to record the guest introductions first, or we're going to do the episodes first, or we're going to cut a couple of commercials first. So today we started by cutting the commercials for Turnkey Podcast, and we did, what else did we do? We record
We did all our intros.
Else? Yeah, then we did
and we
the
did
intros
like almost
after
an hour of bonus material.
Oh my gosh. If you guys are not yet part of the bonus material, I'm not saying this because I want the money. Yes, I fucking want the money, but it's only like $2. It's not even that much. If you just go to patreon.com/nice guys, we've already done the commercial for that at the beginning of the show, but if you just go there, if you need like Saturday good listening material or something while you're on the crapper or something like that, you gotta listen to the last bonus material. Ridiculous.
You realize that at the $1 a month level, you're paying 5 cents an episode. I mean, come on. That's like pocket change. That's
you can't even get a fucking gumball for 5 cents anymore. It costs a quarter.
Yep.
Gosh, you can't even get on one of those electric ponies at the Giant anymore. Did you ever do that? Did you ever, when you went to the Giant, did you ever get on the Giant is a supermarket on the East Coast? I don't think they're everywhere, but Piggly Wiggly, how about that for you Southerners? And Kroger's, if you're is it
They
Kroger's?
get the idea. Grocery store. Okay, Doug, let's move on.
Do they still have those stupid machines out front at the grocery stores anymore?
I have not seen one in ages, but I haven't really looked for it.
I know. You know who's hanging out in front of the grocery stores now?
Who?
Homeless people that want either your food or your change.
Okay.
Or maybe that's just where my neighborhood is. I don't know. Maybe it's a little combination of, oh gosh, that reminds me. Can we get into the topics? Because I really do want to talk about my grocery store. I really do. Or my
that
shopping
wasn't one
center.
of the topics.
It is. It is one of the topics. You just don't. It's the Mickey D's. It's the Mickey D's topic that I have
That's
on there.
not the grocery store. That's Mickey D's.
Yeah, I meant the shopping center, the whole shopping center. I want to talk about the facelift of the shopping center that's going on and what's going on with McDonald's and the whole neighborhood.
And there's one shout out we need to do to your son Adam. Your son Adam wanted a shout out. We haven't talked about it.
Yeah. Adam is now. He might even be a listener to the show. Although very similar to my daughter, he might be a closet listener because he doesn't actually want to admit that he's doing anything that his dad might appreciate and approve. Although for all the F-bombs that we drop on the show, I'm probably not the best influence on my kids. You let your kids ever listen to the show?
Nope.
No. How about your wife?
Nope.
No.
Not that I know of, at least. Maybe they listen in the closet. I don't know. You know how Adam could get a shout out every month on the show?
Ooh.
Donate $5 on Patreon.
That's true. You know,
every month we'll do a shout out.
Let's do that the way I do everything else for him. I'll do it.
Okay.
I'm not raising it.
We're going to give a shout out to Doug Sandler on the show today. Hey, okay, yeah.
No, it'll be anonymous. All right. So we should do a. You know what? If you're a Patreon patron, I encourage you to enter in as anonymous. Well, our show might be like porn. It may be.
Well, it's funny on my 5 Honey by Midnight. Actually, we're going to be interviewing Tim Dressen in a few weeks.
Yeah.
And they do the same thing on Patreon. If you donate at least a certain amount of money, you get a shout out on the show every month, right? So they're going through the shout outs and they say, and we got a donation from the nice guys. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's me. That's fucking. I want my name, not the fucking nice guys. But that's how we are on Patreon. So it's all right.
Well, why you could? So did you call into the? Do they have a call in time on that show?
You can call them anytime and they'll play recordings. I actually bribed him. I sent him he loves Yingling beer.
I heard about this.
They really like Yingling beer, which I love too. I drink Yingling that's my preferred beer. It's Yingling, but you can only get it on the East Coast. And so apparently somebody a couple months ago sent them some Yingling and they've been like kind of rationing it out, and they made a comment on the podcast that they had run out. So I sent them a case. They're in Minnesota. And so I sent them another case.
What does a case of Yingling cost just to buy in general?
$12.
$12 for a case of beer. Okay. So you bought him a case.
I don't know. Maybe it's more like 20. I don't know.
You bought him a case of beer. The shipping was probably more than the case of beer.
Yeah. It's okay. They're worth it.
Okay. No, I get it.
Yeah, I think the shipping was like $15 or something. Yeah, I think it was.
Right.
To Minnesota, across country.
And I didn't even know you legally could ship liquor.
You can't.
What?
In fact, he reached out to me. It's funny. He reached out to me on Twitter. He DM'd me.
Yeah.
And first thing he said was, he's like, hey, man, thanks for the beer. You realize you broke the law. You're not allowed to ship alcohol into Minnesota. And so I tweeted him back and I was like, actually, I broke 2 laws because I'm not allowed to ship alcohol out of Maryland either.
So
and then he said, did you send it to my house? Like they have a PO box on their website, right? And I was like, no, dude, I don't know where you live. And he was like,
Right.
yeah, it came directly to the house. And I'm like, dude, I'm not like a stalker. And he was like, oh, hey, yeah, there is a label underneath. So apparently UPS sent it to the P.O. box, but the P.O. box couldn't take it because it was too big. So I guess the P.O. box gave them the home address, I guess. But he was like,
Holy shit.
He was really worried that I was like, fucking stalker listener or something.
Oh, so I wonder what happened. So you got ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms.
Right.
They come knocking on your door because you fucking shipped a case of beer across our state line into another state that it's illegal to do that. That involves now the FBI.
If we have anybody on the show who is affiliated with the ATF, please just ignore the last 5 minutes of the show. I mean,
or could you just call 4242 DJ Doug and just let us know exactly what could happen to Strickland?
Yeah, what's the possible penalty for shipping a case of beer from Maryland to Minnesota?
Okay,
you are allowed to ship beer. I mean, you're allowed to ship alcohol in certain states, but not in other states. Like you can go to liquor.com. We interviewed a guy, I don't remember what it was, last week, right? Liquor.com.
Yeah.
But we can't use liquor.com here because you can't get alcohol shipped to your house.
That is nuts. I didn't know that. Steve Ulcher, by the way. That was last week's episode. That was a really good episode too. Mm-hmm. We had an incredible amount of downloads in the last couple of weeks. I just think between Judy Holler and Mo Galdat and who else was on the show that promoted the crap out of the show? I mean,
yeah, I think we need to get to some topics. We have a lot of topics, and we're kind of getting off on a tangent already.
Alrighty.
Okay, do I need to do the speed read of the topics first?
We spun the wheel. You're going to have to respin the wheel again. Now you're going to have a stale topic. Yes, could you please read the speed list of the topics? I'm very interested in hearing where we're going.
Okay, here we go.
Hold on, before you read them, did you add any of your own topics?
I added one topic.
Okay.
So we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 topics, one of which is mine.
Okay. All right, great. So you added one of the ones that I sent you last minute edition. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. And if there's any
as long as you're okay with that, Doug. 13 from you and 1 from me. I hope that's okay.
Did you? It better be a good one. Are we going to start with that one? All right, go ahead. Read the speed list.
We may not even get to it till Thursday. It's okay. It's something I posted.
Okay. All righty, let's go.
Are you ready?
I am.
Underwear flaps. Does anyone use them? Show needs some sexual attention. Follow up to the racist bartender at McDonald's in Doug's neighborhood is getting all food. Double drive-through. What is our new guy value proposition? What do we want to exchange for? Doug's not on the town. No wonder he likes his house in pajamas so much. Doug gets hit on and he's okay with it. My 20 years in Vegas picture. Do you have a must-have toilet paper type? Doug needs more free time in his life, making fear your homeboy and working in sex with your wife.
Wow. I like that last one, I think. I heard the word sex, but I did not hear much beyond that. All right.
Well, working in sex with your wife, I hope that's your topic for you and not like me trying to work in sex with your wife. That wouldn't be good.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right. Let's, I don't even know. Let's not start with that one. That would be a challenging one, although the wheel is very random. So we're spinning it again.
The wheel can be random.
Yes. Jeez, now we're going to be all thrown off because the wheel is spun twice and we didn't have a stale topic on that.
I really think you are just thinking too hard on this wheel right now, Doug.
I am.
Follow up on Ray, the racist bartender.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so you dared me and I did it.
Yeah?
I did
you
it.
Emailed them?
Yes. I discovered that his name is not Ray. His name was Alan.
Okay.
So I do apologize, Ray, if I got you in trouble. Okay. But the bartender's name was Alan. So I was listening back to the episode. This was last week's episode, right? Yeah, it was last week's episode. I was listening back to the episode. And as I'm listening to it, I'm like, shit, I got to do it. I have to. So I'm in the car and I'm driving and I paused the episode and I called the restaurant. I said, hey, listen, I need to talk to the manager. I have an issue that I had with one of your employees. And they immediately put me through to the manager. It was like 1:00 in the afternoon. I talked to the manager. I won't get into all of the details because I know you hate when I get into every detail, but the bottom line is this. I told him exactly the racist comments that were made. I told him how I thought that he was being derogatory towards women, and I told him I thought that he was not representing the brand properly.
Towards women, towards blacks, towards Russians. Yeah,
Russians,
pretty much everybody.
Right. All of these things. If you don't know what we're talking about, go back and listen to what episode was that?
It was either Tuesday or Thursday last week.
Okay, so one of those two episodes. You listen to both. They're both really good anyway.
They're both good, yeah.
So listen to those episodes. So the guy, I thought he was going to ask me a lot of questions. I thought he was going to like want to get really into the details. And I appreciated the fact that while he wanted to know the information, he was being ultra sensitive to me. And I thought that was great. I really felt like I was being not shuffled along, but he listened to me. He asked me a couple of questions. I even mentioned to him something about that Alan happened to say that he had a meeting the next day with the restaurant. So it was legit that I was sitting there at the bar. He said, "Yep, we had a meeting, whatever that was that day." And he was totally into it. So I just want to let you know I've done my fair share of trying to improve this world a little bit. Okay. So I don't know. Do you have any follow-up questions to that? Or I'm not sure how to take this.
So where did it end? I mean, I'm assuming he didn't tell you, hey, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go fire that fucker. He basically said, I appreciate the feedback and like, we don't know, right?
No, we don't know. And I don't even know that I wasn't looking to get the guy fired, and I hope that he doesn't get fired. I hope that it's more like this is a good lesson for him to learn as a guy that has to deal with the public. Because if he gets fired, all that's going to do is create an angry person. It's not necessarily going to, I don't think that changes anything. When you take a guy that I feel like to the core probably has that belief structure, I think by firing him, all you do is anger him.
No, you see, that's a negative attitude because first of all, I think that first of all, it improves the restaurant, right? I mean, there's a good chance that you might not go back just because of him. Well, if you find out he's gone, then you may decide you want to go back again. Or if you don't see him again, it may save them other customers. So it may improve the restaurant. Also, if you've got a guy who maybe maybe it's not the first time. You know what?
Yeah,
maybe he's been fired 2 or 3 times for the same shit. And maybe it's this time that he actually realizes that he's got a problem. Or maybe he realizes he shouldn't be a bartender. He needs to be in a different line of work, like working at a factory making widgets alone. Exactly.
Yeah. I felt a little bit hesitant, but with your encouragement, I thought it was important for me to do it. I really do. I think it was my way to contribute, not to fuckery to the world, because I wasn't doing it to get back at anybody. I was doing it because I think that it was, and I'm trying to not rationalize while rationalizing at the same time. It was important. It offended me, and I'm the guy that does not easily get offended. But it was like after 2 or 3 different moves, I'm like, shit, this guy, he does not belong representing this brand. You know,
I've already made one reference to 500 by Midnight. I'll make another one. About 2 weeks ago, they had on an episode when they were in Las Vegas last. It's Tim and Michelle, and they're a married couple, and they were in Las Vegas last. They had an issue with one of the hotels that they stayed at, and basically they didn't get the service that they thought they should have gotten, and they went back. I know what it was. They were promised a room type, and the room type wasn't available, and so they got downgraded, and they didn't have to pay quite as much. But they felt like with the downgrade that they got, that they should have gotten more of a discount. And they went and said something, and the front desk person said, "Sorry, this is what we're going to do. Like, we're going to knock $20 off, right?" And so he basically called him, and he basically said, "Look, really, I'm looking for X, and you gave me Y." Now, the difference between X and Y was about $50, right?
Right.
And
right.
I'm trying to remember now. I don't know if he did a review somewhere. Oh, I know what it was. Like he put a review in within the hotel. Like inside the hotel, you can either do a comment card or you can do something online or something, right?
Yeah.
And he basically said, "Guys, do you realize that I specifically said I'd be happy and I will be a satisfied customer if you do X, if you give me this," and they wouldn't do it. And the difference between what they did and what he wanted was $50 or something like that.
Right.
And he basically said, "So what you're saying really is your loyalty or my loyalty is worth $50. Well, he got a call back from the manager. And the manager said, "You know what? I so appreciate you posting that, because most people are just not going to say anything, and then we won't know." Right. And they go away and they don't come back.
Yeah.
And then they're pissed off, and they're always going to have an attitude. And you know what? You're right. When we look at it from that perspective, the difference in gaining or losing your loyalty is $50. You're right. Thank you for pointing it out." And they basically went back and did even more than that. And so now they have a raving fan.
Nicely done.
So same thing with you. I'm glad you said something. I know you were uncomfortable about conflict like that. You feel like it's a negative thing,
but
it's
uncomfortable.
It's ultimately a positive thing.
Let's spin the wheel.
All right.
What's it gonna be? I'm so excited to know.
Well, this is interesting. You see, the one it landed on,
Yeah.
we could possibly tie into the one that was right before it that it didn't land on. The one it landed on is the show needs some sexual attention.
Yeah, okay.
The one before it was underwear flaps. Does anyone use them? I don't know if those are tied together or not. They could be, maybe.
Well, let's start with the underwear flap thing, can we? Is that okay?
Sure.
Is that all right?
Sure.
Can I pull an audible here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
It's all good.
so I'm putting on my underwear the other day, and I don't know. Are you brand loyal with your underwear? Is it Hanes, Fruit of the Loom, whatever?
Not at all.
It's just what? Okay, I think we talked about this probably 100 some odd episodes ago about brand loyalty towards underwear, and I'm not brand loyal either. I was for a very long time until they started changing like the design and the cut and all that, and I wasn't into it. But I started to notice with the new ones that I have, which are Fruit of the Loom, that they have a flap in the front. You know, like the little, it's like the double stitch seamed, but flap.
Okay.
I'm like, there's a flap in my underwear, and I don't ever use the flap in my
I'm not
underwear.
sure what you mean by the flap. What do you do? Boxers or briefs or boxer briefs? What do you do?
They're briefs.
Okay.
They're briefs. So they're not boxers. They're like I don't know, what do you call them? They're not
Tighty
like
Whities?
Yeah, kind of like Tighty Whities, but they're color.
Okay.
Okay, so they're color. So in the front, and maybe this will be the cover art.
There's like an overlapping kind of?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
So there's like an overlap thing, but the overlap thing, if you put your sorry, I don't mean to be so graphic, but if you put your hand through the overlap, the flap thing, you actually can get to your junk through there. You got it? Okay. Does anybody use that? I can't possibly imagine anybody using that.
You know, I haven't worn Tighty Whities in a long time, but I know what you mean. And I've always thought the same thing. I'm like, it's really kind of tough to get to it. It's not useful at all. I agree.
It's not useful. There's no contortionist activity that you could put yourself through in order to make it and still have it be functional at the same time.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if there was anybody. I'm just curious, even with because boxer shorts, they have like not a fly, but they have the slit, right? Like a front.
Exactly. They got usually it's like a slit in the front and some have a little button. And so that's convenient and functional. And I used to wear boxers and I would use that flap all the time.
Oh, what do you wear now?
So I do like boxer briefs now. And it's funny you
those
mentioned
are good. Yeah, I like the boxer briefs. They don't have a flap though in the front, do they?
No, they don't. And what's interesting, I've got a package that my wife got me and there's no label in them anywhere, right? And it's a solid color. So, and it's kind of dark color. I have to look at them really hard to figure out what's the front and the back. It's kind of annoying, actually. Like I want a label so I know where the back is.
Oh, I guess. So they don't even have a label. So they're like labelless altogether.
Yeah, exactly. It's got their brand name around the waistband,
Yeah,
but it's all the way around the waistband. There's nothing printed or stitched in the back that says this is the back.
I would think that you would know just based upon the cut of the boxer briefs, like what's the ass side and what's the cock side.
And that's what's interesting about it. Okay, so that's what's interesting about it. I have others that are different colors or patterns, and they're like cotton. And you're right, you can see easily by the stitching, especially if it's a pattern on it, which is the front, because it's got like a kind of a cross stitch kind of thing, right? These are actually, they're like made of bamboo or something. They're supposed to be like extra super soft.
You told me that they're like $20 a pair,
I know,
right?
it's ridiculous. My wife got them for me for Christmas. They're really comfy. They're really comfy, so I do like them.
It's like bamboo. It's like beaten to a pulp and liquefied and turned into a chicken nugget.
Right, exactly. Exactly. But they're really comfortable, so it's all okay. It's worth it, right?
Hey, but talking about like the flap thing, it started, and that's not even how I got necessarily on my train of thought, because I was trying on my underwear, or not trying on, I was putting on my underwear, and I was thinking, what the fuck is this? And then my wife said the same thing. She was like, does anybody use that?
I don't know.
No,
we would love to hear from a Funkin' fan on Twitter, or you can call 4242 DJ Doug, or you can email us. Whatever.
That's fine. That's fine. Just send us your underwear. It's fine.
Post something on the Facebook page. Whatever.
Make sure it's clean before you send us your underwear, though. And really, if it's a guy, don't send us your underwear. Just tell us what your guys use. Ladies, tell us what your guy uses, flapless or flap filled, and then you send us your underwear. That's all good.
So apparently, the show needs some sexual tension, which it seems like you're trying to cause right now by asking our female fans to send their underwear.
Right. So okay. So the last couple of weeks, we've had some great guests on the show. Mm-hmm. And I've noticed that originally, and my wife and I had a pretty good, I would call it a conversation, but it was leaning more towards an argument.
Right on the edge.
It was right on the edge. It was one of those shows right on the edge. And one of the things that we were talking about in this argument was, I wish that when we had a female guest on the show that our download count went up instead of goes down. Because I was noticing a trend that whenever we would have a female guest on the show, that our download count would not
be as good. You mentioned that to me, and I didn't know that I actually saw that trend, or if it just happened to be a short-term thing. Have you confirmed that?
Well, I think it might have been a short-term thing, but I also think it may have been the way that the guest was either treated on the show, or or it wasn't. There wasn't enough. When Lolly was on the show, what's today? Is today Monday?
Tuesday.
No, today Tuesday. Okay, so tomorrow, Lolly's coming on the show tomorrow. Lolly Descal, you want to tune into tomorrow's episode. It's really interesting. We talk about women in the workplace and women in a position of leadership. And I know this isn't necessarily a part of what this is about, but it's kind of part and parcel of the same subject. The women that come on the show and the women that are in leadership, do you feel like there would be more value to them on the show if there was some level of a little bit of sexual tension between the the interviewer, which is me, or who is me, and the subject, who is the woman that's coming on the show?
I totally think it depends on the guest. You've definitely had some guests that are much more casual, like Nicole Holland, like Judy Holler, where, you cross that line a little, like you flirt a little or whatever. But the problem is, until you start talking to the guest, you just don't know. Like Lolly Descal, right?
Agreed.
Lolly Descal has 1.2 million Twitter followers, and she's the most influential woman in the world, according to Huffington Post, right?
Right.
And she's an attractive woman, right? I've got to believe that every guy that talks to her probably objectifies her and thinks she's hot. And so somebody like that, like if you kind of start flirting with her and treating her like a woman as opposed to an executive, I think you would get a huge pushback, and I think it would draw.
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting you say that, because one of the things I mentioned on the show tomorrow, and again, you guys can tune in and you'll be able to hear tomorrow, is I say, is it okay for a woman that's in a position of leadership to use femininity, to use to be sexy, and then she didn't stop me, but she said, I would agree with every word except that word sexy. She said something like, I don't think that that's the appropriate word to use. Not that she was saying I was being inappropriate, but that's not the appropriate word to use. I don't want a woman to be sexual in her, but I want a woman to use what would be considered a feminine trait. Right. So I have it's a very, very, very thin line between sexuality and femininity, isn't there?
Yeah, and everybody's line is in a different place. When we get Sunny Lake on the show and we talk about Sunny's boobs, it's funny, it's silly, nobody cares, and we have that kind of relationship with her.
Right. Well, so that I was thinking, as I was thinking about how amazing and fun, it's great on a couple different levels. It's great because it keeps the show extremely interesting, at least from my perspective as a guy that's interviewing, when there's some level of sexual tension. Like Alyssa Dare Nelson, who came on the show a couple of weeks ago. In my opinion, she's really cute, and she's got this amazing voice. I love her voice, and for me, I'd love to have. It's almost like there's like that verbal foreplay that goes on when we're on the show, and I get into that. I mean, I don't get off on that. I get into that. And there's a huge difference, in my opinion.
Yeah, but you got to feel it out. I think just...
Oh, yeah. So it's got to go both ways. It's got to go... Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The fact that you find them attractive does not necessarily correlate with how they feel about you or how comfortable they are with going there.
No, I get it. So if you ever are in a position where you're having that conversation with somebody and they're not pushing back in the same way that you're pushing towards them, then it's not... I feel like I've done enough interviews to know, okay, this is not the right, okay, you say one thing and it does not lead for them to say another thing. Okay, I'm going to stop using that approach.
Yeah, no, it's all the push and pull, and you got to feel it out. But, to say that, hey, you think we need more of that? Again, I think you just got to feel
I'm asking
it out.
the
There's
question.
No,
I'm not saying, I guess I put it in as a topic, the show needs more sexual tension, but it was more of a question. Do you think the show needs more sexual tension as a part of it? The idea of having a third person, we used to have a number of people. Sonny came on the show. Stacey Sherman came on the show a number of times.
Laura Cannon.
Laura Cannon came on the show. Yeah, Dr. Karen came on the show. I feel like we picked women to be in that role because I thought that it was, for me, it provided an outlet for some of the guys that are listening to the show that are in the position of, hey, why don't we have a female on the show? It sounds kind of fun. There's a little bit of sexual tension between Doug and Strick and those ladies that come on the show, and I thought it had a dynamic that was interesting, and that's the only reason I brought it up.
I think every once in a while, it has been a long time since we've had a guest on. I think we had Mar on a couple of weeks ago, but it's so funny because, again, the vibe is so different with everybody, right? Like Mar, there's no sexual tension with Mar because she's so funny. Like she doesn't want to talk relationships at all. And it's fun to, like, if we were to say, boy, right? Like, I think she'd just start giggling, and it's funny because she's in San Francisco, right? We've never met her. We don't know. And Mar, I'm not making fun of you. I mean, obviously I am kind of making fun of you. It's just like, we don't know Mar at all in the sense of relationships or relationship history. I mean, we don't even know what her sexual preferences are, and we don't really care. It's just funny. But whenever we even hint to it, she totally backs off, and it's just funny.
So we don't go there. So
so we don't go there. It's all good.
No, it's all good. But you take somebody like Deb Gabor.
Oh my God! Right? Exactly.
And Deb will tell you the positions that she was in.
We have not heard from Deb in ages. I want to see how she's doing.
You know what? I think what happened was when the whole United Airlines thing went up, she was in the process of doing a whole bunch of PR work, and she was working with a publicist to try to get her brand out there even more. I mean, that's what she does. I mean, she is a branding goddess. Yeah. And the whole combination of this whole charge forward with her publicist or PR company, and then she got quoted through NPR and some other sources, I think that she's just blown up. I mean, not too big to be on our show. I just don't think that her time is extremely limited right now.
So really just too big to be on our show is what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much.
She doesn't give a fuck about us anymore.
No. Deb, if you're listening to the show, Deb, just go ahead and send us a tweet. Maybe call 4242 DJ Doug. Maybe just text me. You have my phone number.
Yeah, we'd love to get you back on the show again. It'd be fun.
Yeah, we totally would. That would be good.
Okay, time to move on.
What's it gonna be?
Okay. You know what? I want to save this one for Thursday because we're almost 30 minutes in. What is our nice guy value proposition, and what do we want in exchange for it? That's going to be a longer conversation.
That is a long topic, and it's a great topic too.
Although the next one right after it, I'm going to pretend it spun a little bit further, right?
Okay.
Doug gets hit on, and he's okay with it.
This could be a long one too.
Oh, it could?
That's all right. She might be listening to the show, so.
Oh, really?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Your wife or the person hitting on you?
No, is not my wife.
No. So to hit on you.
I don't know. This is where I need your help.
Okay, let's go into the story. Let's go ahead.
Okay, so this past weekend, Danielle, my wife, and myself, we went to a benefit, okay? And Ben Rector was actually playing Ben Rector, A Brand New Day, or whatever the name of his new song is, and it's for the Alzheimer's Association, and so we're sitting there, and we were invited as guests. I think Danielle has some pretty deep connections in the decor community because she's an event planner, and we were invited to the benefit. So we are assigned a table. There's 10 people at the table, and we don't know anybody at the table, so we're introducing ourselves, and there's couples. They're all couples that are sitting around the table. The woman that is sitting to my left, her name was, her and her husband were there too, and that was great. So maybe we should beep out the word. I don't know if we've said Alzheimer's Association benefit and we've said her name. Does that pretty much tell you that we were at table? Also, is that really fine to it?
Whatever you want to do, dude. I'm staying out of this one.
Yeah, we might. Go ahead. Why don't you beep out the name? I don't want to get her in trouble.
Are you going to say it 4 or 5 more times, so I have to beep it out every time?
Yeah. Let me just add in. Okay.
Doug just said his age again, and yes, it will be beeped out.
Yeah, good. Are you making notes? And I don't even know, because the reason I really want to beep her name out is not because I'm trying to protect her, but because what I could be thinking could be completely wrong. And if it is, then that's fine too. Anyway, so I don't even find this out until later on, but I'm sitting at the table, we're having a conversation, we're talking, having conversation, and that is it. That truly is it. And we're in the car and we're driving home. And my wife and I, we have a very open relationship when it comes to talking, and we will talk about anything. I mean, this is Danielle is my second attempt at marriage.
His second future ex-wife.
Right. No. I hope, God forbid, I hope it's not my future ex-wife. I am done. Let me tell you, if anything happens to my relationship with Danielle, I am finished. In Strickland, I'm holding you accountable.
Oh, okay. I'm responsible for your marriage. Okay, good.
Yes. No, not for my marriage, but if anything happens to my marriage, if you let me get remarried again, I will kill you. Okay? Let me just say that. It's not because I don't like marriage. I love marriage, and I love being married to Danielle. It's just a process to get married.
And it was funny, when you first got separated, there was a girl that you were interested in, and you were freaking head over heels for, and I was trying as diplomatically as possible to go, Doug, this is not good. You need to back away from this girl. This is not good. Yeah, and looking back on it now, you agreed with me, but man, at the time you were like, it was funny. Yeah, you're 100% right, and I thank you. I'm telling you, that's why I'm saying this to you right now, Strick. If anything, God forbid, I don't ever want anything to happen to my marriage, ever. I want to stay married for the rest of my life. However, Strickland, if anything happens to my marriage, I need you to tie me down and tell me what. Do not do that again. Enjoy your life, Doug. Just enjoy it. Okay? Thank you. Will do.
So I'm driving home with Danielle, and she said, hey, can we talk about something? I'm like, yeah, sure. She goes, do you think that, no, I think I started the conversation. I said, do you think that girl that was sitting next to me was hitting on me? And she goes, absolutely. I'm glad you said that. I'm like, why? Until I was thinking back to it, I didn't really, what would be an indicator that somebody is hitting on you?
Like, they're talking to you a lot, that they're reaching out, that they're like physical contact. I mean, like if they touch you on the shoulder, or like they seem
let me go through my
interested.
Checklist. Let me go to my checklist. All right. What? Give me them. There's probably a handful of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you just share? Okay. You hit one of them.
I hit one?
Yeah. You've hit one so far. You've given me one and you hit one.
One thing that she did.
Yeah, you've hit one of them.
Now I got you. What else? So she laughs at your jokes, maybe a little bit more than you think they should be funny.
Check. All right. So far I've got touched my shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay. And
directing the conversation back towards you.
Maybe even my leg. Too.
Yeah. I mean, right there, those are two big ones. Asking questions about you.
Oh my gosh, totally. Okay, so asking questions. Okay, good. What was the second one again? Touching my shoulder, asking questions about, laughing a little bit at my stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, at me. Okay.
Are you making notes?
Yeah, I wanted to just make sure. I'm making notes. Strick, I don't know this shit. I don't. I get in the car and I'm completely oblivious. And I said, except there was something that in the back of my head saying, I think she might have hit on me.
But that was your wife that pointed it out to you.
No, I pointed it out to my wife, and then she confirmed it. She's like, absolutely. She wasn't mad at me. She wasn't, because she knows I was completely oblivious to it. That was the funny part. I'm like, and then as I'm thinking about it, I just was like, yeah, I think you're right. I think she was. So I got touching shoulder, laughing at me, asking questions. Is there any other nice guy community? Are there any other indicators that a girl is hitting on you?
Let's see. She reaches down and unzips your pants and starts sucking your dick.
No, it didn't.
That didn't happen. No, not that
didn't
far.
give me her phone number or anything like that.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Look, you definitely were getting hit on, but you said she was there with her husband, right?
Yeah.
And you were there with your wife, right?
Yeah.
There's a certain safety in that, and it makes it okay to flirt, right? Because you know that, like, if your wife went to the bathroom and let's say her husband walked away and then she started like touching your shoulder, touching your leg, okay, that is definitely, inappropriate flirting. But
No,
when
she
they're
didn't do
right
anything like
there,
that.
it's all
Yeah.
fun and casual. It's like they know they're right there.
Okay. And maybe she was just that way. And maybe she wasn't hitting on me. So if you were hitting on me, then that's fine. I don't think that she was, though. I think that this is probably I just got a sense that this is the personality that she had. It made me feel good. So let me just say that. It made me feel, but I didn't realize it made me feel good in a way that I should not feel good.
No, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, I've been listening to Dan Savage's Savage Lovecast podcast lately, and that is one of the things that he says. There was a woman that called in and said, hey, my husband gets really upset because I dress a certain way, and I don't think it's sexy at all, but he thinks it's really sexy, and I just like to look nice. And he says, I don't want guys looking at you and staring at you. And Dan Savage's answer was, dude, they are going to stare, okay?
Right,
and
right.
there's nothing wrong with that. And in fact, as a person in a committed relationship, you should enjoy that, embrace it, and then take that sexual tension back to the bedroom with your partner. What's the problem?
I have to tell you that when my wife gets dressed up, you saw, I think I put a picture on the Nice Guy community page, or not on the community page, but on the Slack page, and she was fucking hot. She was looking, her hair was looking good. She smelled really good, and it felt good just to be with someone that is just like, holy shit.
Right, and if
I'm
you're
the
right
luckiest
there,
guy in the entire world.
Right, and if you're right there and there are other guys flirting with her,
right,
are you going to get like weird and jealous, or are you going to you're going to be
now I would have been probably 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But now she has proven that she loves me pretty much unconditionally. I mean, with the exception of being like a complete dog, which I would never be with my wife. You know, she really has proven very trustworthy and extremely loyal and just an amazing person. And I don't know why early on in the relationship that I felt that way. I just think it was just the whole.
Well, no, I mean, you've got lots of insecurities. You haven't been in that many relationships. You were married for 20 some years. I mean, it's totally understandable.
Okay. All right, good. I'm feeling good now.
Okay, we need to wrap up. We're almost 40 minutes in, and we need to, let's go record our Thursday episode.
Okay, let's do the Thursday episode. Let's get out of here now. Let's see. I think that's it. Do we what do we normally do when we wrap up? I can't remember anymore.
Steve O'Brien, take us out of here.
For the Nice Guys on Business, I'm Steve O'Brien. I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids.
Oh my God. Oh, it hurts.
That was good.
Okay. That was great.